Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Timmy here. Super excited to talk about the artist controlled drops for Reddit avatars. I think it's really, really cool. Different than what they did with the previous generations, releasing everything at once. Now the artists themselves can kind of control what they want to do for drops, drop when they want, and I think it's going to really, really make avatars that much better. Now, what happened? This came out last Friday, December 1st. This video will post on December 8th, so it's going to be 1 week old. We did have a second follow-up drop on Wednesday this week on the 6th. Um, I'm mostly going to talk about the first beta test one, just so everyone's aware. But I thought it was really cool. Like with any beta test, there were hiccups and bumps along the road. I'm sure not everyone was super thrilled with how everything went down. Reddit artists and collectors all included. Um, but we made it through and really, really cool. So, what Reddit did was they asked 5 artists um, to come out with avatars. So, Kristy Glas, Laura D, Penguitt, Jess Hansen, and the Fatty Bagz all came out with 2 avatars that they released on December 1st. Now, Reddit was initially planning to release it between 1 p.m. Or release it at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then with some delays, it was pushed back. They had to get the contracts working, they had to get the shop updated, all of that. Um, but we can see these avatars all right here, and my oh my, from an art standpoint, it was um, it was pretty spectacular. I mean, Christie's avatars are really cool. Very, very similar to all of her other work. You have that blue, pink, purplish background color scale, so that's all really, really cool. Laura D had really cool ones. I love why I love the background. I think it's really, really special. And then even these rings are cool. Penguit. I know everyone wanted Golden Pengu. For obvious reasons. It's super, super cool. But Gleam is also super, super spectacular. Um, just knocked it out of the park again. Opal, super, super cool. I love the lightning trait and little highlighting backgrounds. I think she did that with Eclipse also, and it just adds a whole bunch. Even Facet had its little shine going on in the corner. And then Relic itself doesn't look great, but it has a whole bunch of hidden traits, obviously, in the background here. If you remove that top layer, uh, really cool. Uh, really cool. I'm not going to tell everyone what the traits are. You're going to have to buy the avatar for yourself to see. Um, and then Fatty just came out with more spectacular pieces. You see Baby Bags is super, super cool. And then Senpai Leak is also really cool. I love all the little triangles that Fatty puts in his art. Super cool. So, from the avatar standpoint, this was a huge success. The part that wasn't a success really happened with the launch because it was delayed. First, it was 30 minutes, and then it was another 40 minutes, and then it was another 20, and you just kept getting delay after delay. And really, what happened? So, artists took different approaches, but we knew a drop was happening. Um, Everyone had their uh, teaser videos, kind of what was going on. I think Fatty was the only one that didn't have a teaser video. Um, but he did post on his Twitter post in the Discord that a drop was coming, so everyone knew what was happening. So everyone was just F5ing their shops, refresh, refresh, want to see when it's coming out, when it's coming out, and there were so many people that were so excited, which I think is a really good thing when people are excited for a launch. Um, that is so much better than people not knowing anything comes out when it comes out. So I would say it's a very good problem to have. It was just the delays were unfortunate. Now, as far as the approach artists took, Chrissy and Laura kind of took the, um, I'll call it the traditional approach, where they said, hey, here's our avatars, here's the teaser, here's what you're going to see. It'll be in the shop at some point soon or tomorrow or whenever they release them. Um, and they kept it kind of, I would say, more traditional as far as pricing and minting. So Christie's, both of hers were $25 for 200 mints, and Lars had $10 mints at 500. So effectively worked out to be very, very similar. Um, they both sold really well. I think Y is very close to selling out at 500 mints, which is super, super cool. I mean, one look at this avatar and you can know, no pun intended, know why. Um, but really, really cool there. Now, what Jess did was she basically had open communication with everyone, was saying, hey, I was told by Reddit it's going to release at this time, and this is when I plan on releasing it. And then she was told, uh, hey, there's going to be a delay, and she communicated that to the community. That was really, really cool. Kind of get the constant updates from her when Reddit thinks the shop's going to launch. Um, Allow people to get back to work if they had to work and come back in whatever it was, the 45-minute delay, the 30-minute delay. Ooh, got the hiccups. That is not great. Fatty did release when it was going to come out in his Discord, not an exact, hey, I'm dropping it in the next minute. But he said, hey, it's coming soon. Keep your eyes peeled for these avatars. Um, and I'll say, I don't think it's um, controversial to say this or disputed, but the most controversial drop um, in this beta test is what Penguitt did. Now, personally, I loved it. I thought it was super cool. I think um, it really brought the Web3 aspect to avatars, which had been missing, and that was the idea of whitelisting. So, really, before we get into what Penguin did, I do want to talk about mint numbers. I know I talked about these two. Gleam, there were 199 mints at $50. Golden Pengu, there was set to be 50 mints, and I believe it was at, yeah, 50 mints at $5. Um, Opal, it was $25 and 77 mints. Relic, there was going to be 50 mints at $10. Baby Bags was 50 at 50, and Senpai was 50 at 10. So Gleam had a lot. So basically, these had 199 or more. And then you had 50 in Golden Pengu, 50 in Senpai, 50 Baby Bags, 50 Relic, and then 77 Opal. So more limited along the bottom, um, which was cool. Really cool to see artists bring back scarcity and almost the need to be on when it's released, especially if they're really cool avatars. I mean, Relic, when it was released, it was launched and sold out. It had to be within 90 seconds. It was sold that quickly. Baby Bag sold out super quickly. Opal sold out super quickly. Um, I mean, I think Relic was super fast and Golden Pengu was super fast at the 50 minutes, but we're talking less than 10 minutes for all of these along the bottom, and Golden Pengu was like in and out of the shop in an instant. Um, but what was really cool about Gleam is Gleam and what Penguit did, but he took Gleam, he let everyone know in a Discord basically saying, I am going to support my supporters. Um, which was really, really cool. He wanted everyone who was his supporter to have a chance at Golden Pengu and not people that didn't have his avatars. So he introduced whitelisting to avatars, which was super cool. So if you've uh, been into other NFT projects, really, you know what whitelisting is. For those unaware, it's basically saying, hey, you hold this NFT or you hold this token or whatever, you're going to get early access, special pricing, whatever it is, the ability to mint this avatar. Now, previously it was impossible with Reddit because everything was released at once. But what Penguit did was he knew that everyone wanted Golden Pengu. He knew that there were 50 mints and it would sell out fast, especially at $5. It would be boom, gone. Um, so what he did was he said, everyone who owns my Gleam avatar, join my Discord, and you would get. I think he used Collabland. He may have used another tool to verify. But basically, what you can do in the Discord is verify ownership of an NFT to have a specific role in that Discord channel. Once you have that role, you get notice of that other people don't get um, without that role. But if you held Gleam, basically what Penguit did was he's put a notice, and I think he said think it was 3 minutes. I could be wrong about the time. Um, all I know is all the avatars were released kind of at the same time. I know Relic came a little bit after Opal, and whatever happened, artists had to do those releases. Gleam came out with everything, but Golden Pengu did not launch with all the other avatars. Penguit waited at least a couple hours. Um, Part of it was he wanted the blockchain to finish minting in the queue to be empty for Gleam so that people who bought Gleam could get the role in his Discord server. And then he said, um, in 3 minutes, I'm going to launch Golden Pengu. I think it was 3 minutes. It may have been two. Whatever it was, there was a very limited time where you knew to go to the shop and knew it was coming out, so you could be refreshing, be looking for the avatar to purchase immediately upon releasing. And then because Penguit did that and everyone wanted Golden Pengu, I know I was able to scoop one up and I got it, and I literally bought the avatar as what I thought as soon as it released ended up with a mint number in the high 20s um, upon release, and it overminted significantly. But I bought it, went back in, and it had already sold out. So we're talking under 30 seconds uh, for a sellout. I think Golden Pengu actually beat Spud, uh, which was in the Spooky Season sequel as the quickest sellout I've ever seen. Um, but really, really cool. Now, I thought it was awesome that Penguin did it. I know that other people were critical, saying he was giving an unfair advantage, yada, yada, yada. Um, I think they weren't familiar with the concept of whitelisting in Web3 if they were. And also, let the artist do what they want to do. It was a really cool way to support the people who supported him. Um, and I'm all for it. I was a huge fan of the different approaches that everyone took. I think variety's super, super good, and really what can happen is artists have their thought and idea, and then the collectors gravitate towards a certain idea. And really, what it means is these avatars can reach more people because different people connect with different things. Um, and you don't have to buy them all. It's totally fine if something doesn't speak to you, don't buy it. And if you really like the artist, you like what they're about, certainly buy their avatar. Um, I know that people were even critical to um, I don't know if they were critical. They were expressing discontent, and I know that artists, everyone on here put so much work and effort into making these pieces, um, and into giving Avatar collectors, Avatar fans something to they can use, and they've really it's not something they take lightly. And then having the release and having put all their time and effort into these avatars, and these were not easy to make. I mean, they're spectacular. Excuse me. Um, and then seeing all the negative reaction, even if it wasn't directed at them, it really put a damper on it. And I think that, um, and I get why collectors were also frustrated because you want to buy it. I mean, if things sell out quickly and you can't buy it and the shop's glitchy, it's frustrating. Um, but remember that there are people behind it. I think that's the big thing we need to keep in mind. Um, yeah, this was absolutely great. And then, unfortunately, and I'll talk a little bit ahead, but I don't have slides prepared because it happened on Wednesday and today's Thursday. The video is going to release Friday. I hadn't put anything together. But Ships did something very, I'll say, similar to Penguit in the sense of all the avatars were released, and Ships had a super, super cool Bellhead avatar, 330 mint. He decided to release it at 3:33 p.m. Um, it was well after all the other avatars were released. Unfortunately, it also leaked out that Ships had more avatars, so people were waiting for Ships to drop his avatar, waiting, 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 complaining, constantly refreshing the shop. And some people actually got mad at Ships, even though he made no promises when he was going to drop it. He just said, "Hey, I'm dropping an avatar today." Dropped his bellhead. It was great. It's already sold out less than 24 hours later. 330 mint avatar at I think it was 25 bucks. Um, but yeah, sold out quickly, and then people were mad that he didn't release more. And uh, my perspective, and I think we need to remember this, is take a step back. Remember that this artist is an individual. Like it's someone doing it. Ships can do what he wants to do. If you like his art, get it, support him. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. Um, you just don't have to be mean and nasty about it. Um, there's no reason for that type of discontent. I do know that, and maybe I'm biased because Ships is definitely a friend of mine, but he wants to release on his own timeline. He doesn't want the pressure of people expecting something from him. And I'm sure every artist feels the same way. And I think if I were an artist, that's how I would feel. And I think if um, people look inside themselves and think about it, that's they're going to want to release when they want to release and having the pressure. I would say it's definitely a blessing because it means people appreciate your work, but it's also very stressful and not really necessary. Um, so I do think we need to remember we're in the super, super early days of both Web3 and Reddit avatars. There's going to be bumps and mistakes along the road. But I know that everyone, the artists are getting better, Reddit's probably getting better um, at deploying contracts. I know that Wednesday was significantly better than Friday, even for these artist drops. So there's improvement being made, and not everything's perfect. And then collectors, even we're getting, I would say, I don't want to say smarter, but our expectations are able to be met, and it's just this stuff takes time, and there are bumps along the road like anything. It is brand new. There's no machine that's been invented that says you do this and then this outcome happens. A lot of this is in a test and learn environment, and I think that we need to remember that and really appreciate what we have in these avatars. I think that when we look at the art, the ability to mash these avatars, I mean, Gleam mashes awesome. Why? Like, these will mash so well with other avatars, and we need to appreciate that um, and really focus on the good. I think that's ultimately the message is there were hiccups along the way. Everyone still got avatars that they wanted. And if they didn't get them, then they could buy them on secondary, and that was fine as well. Um, but it all works out in the end. And we're going to just continue to get great avatars. I do think as collectors too, we need to show that we appreciate the artists because they're doing this for us. I mean, when you talk about Relic or Senpai or Golden Pengu, I mean, 50 minutes at $5 or 50 minutes at $10, 50 minutes at $10, 50 minutes at $5. The artist made basically peanuts. The return on investment for their time was not there. They're doing this because they love the community, and we need to make sure that um, we show them appreciation as well, and that we want them around to give us these super cool things that we can use to express ourselves digitally. But that is all I have to say as my quick initial thoughts. I do want to thank the artists Kristy, Laura D, Penguitt, Jessica, Fatty um, for their time in creating these avatars. Thanks for talking to me. I like to hear their stories, kind of what their thought process was behind it. I know that um, artists have their own motivation. So Chrissy basically said she wanted to keep it relatively low mint because she had other avatars that were 500, 1,000 that weren't selling so well. Keep it lower mint, give it more scarcity. That was really cool. She did a great job there. Fatty, when he was thinking about Baby Bags and Senpai League, um, I know I said I was just going, but I thought I wanted to talk about this to show that the artist did put a lot of thought um, to this. Fatty really wanted to keep it scarce, make it low, but Baby Bags was 50, Senpai was 10 because there does have to be some return on investment to make it worthwhile. I mean, if you're creating this art, um, you want some return. I know Jess spent so much time building Relic, thought about it a lot. She actually was telling me about it months and months ago, trying to get it um, absolutely perfect and for $500 in sales, and she gets essentially half that once Reddit takes their cut. The marketplace, whether it's Google Play or Apple Pay, takes their cut. Taxes come out, all of that, like $250 she's getting from this after hours and hours and hours of work. Opal, the same thing, lots of time. I think it's really cool for Penguit to try to think outside the box and bring something new to avatars as far as whitelisting. And they I want to share that I'm thankful to these artists for even talking to me about when I was trying to prepare this video, get their mindsets to it. Um, because it really gave me a deep appreciation for what they did, and that it wasn't just thrown together willy nilly. They really thought deeply about it and trying to do whether it's great art, but then even in the release, kind of how they thought about it. I understood and could see myself um, making the same decisions if I were in their shoes. So thank you, artists, so much. Um, but yeah, you guys are great, and I look forward to more work and more work for other artists. Um, it's going to be really, really cool to see artists have more control. But that's all I have for today, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss my next videos. I do plan on having more conversations. I do want to say that unrelated to the Avatar videos, but this cone hat is one of my new favorite hats. I got it from Chipper Doodle's Etsy shop. It's super cool. Turn it this way. It even has a 608 right here, so I am going to be certainly wearing this outside, and hopefully I'll run into another cone head. That'll be a whole bunch of fun. But yeah, I'm definitely doing more videos. I'm going to be talking to more artists, releasing kind of podcast-esque videos, one-on-one conversations. We'll talk about avatars, but we'll also talk about other things. But yeah, that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. As always, keep smiling, and I'll talk to you all later.